this. Okay, guys. So today's call is going to be on time management, but we're going to start it with something that's really, really important before you're doing any power hour or anything that has to relate to your business or something where you want your high vibes. There's two things that can really work for you. One is something Tony Robbins does, and one is something that Brandon Bouchard does. So it's going to be quirky, bear with me, but let's freaking do this. So what you're going to do is you're really going to try to get to a place of gratitude, and then you're going to do something which makes you look like an idiot, but I promise you it works. So you're going to pump your arms. So you're going to close your eyes and you're going to pump your arms. As you pump your arms, you go, hey, you look like a retard. Don't laugh at me, Allie, but I promised you it will shift your vibes and it's going to wake you up. So if you have had a crazy day with the kids, or if you have just had a moment and you just need to shift that vibe and that energy, we're going to do this. Tony does it for God knows how long. We're going to do it for just a few seconds before we feel too silly. Okay, ready? Close your eyes. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's good. I feel ridiculous. This is amazing. Someone hopefully filmed that. Okay. The other one is not so quirky. You don't have to do it, but you stand up. And I'm moving my chair. And what you do, okay, you can't even see. Okay, this is ridiculous. Okay, what you do is you go back and forth and you go, okay, I look like I'm gyrating the screen. Okay.
I am so here for this.
Right? This is perfect. Okay, but I'm going to see if I can do it from the side. But he goes, and he does the same thing, but he literally just shakes it out. And it's the same. Okay, Julie, I see you laughing at me, but it really does change your focus. It actually worked for my son who has, he's our more child, and it really helps shift your focus and your vibes. There's something about the movement. As you guys know, we're all coaches. We know moving our body shifts your energy and can change everything for the day. So as my heart rate is up to 200, no, I am going to get started. So those of you who don't know me, I am uber quirky and slightly special. I am Lauren Kellar. I've been a coach for 4 years. Lindsay is my coach and Allie is my mama bear, my great mama bear. No, my grandma bear. And I have 3 kids. I have Jack, who's 9, Willow, who's 7, and Reese, who's 7 months. And I am, when I'm not on mat leave, I am a full-time shift working nurse. My husband is also a full-time shift working nurse. On top of all these other crazy things, I also homeschool in the summer. Our lives are crazy, which is why I am so passionate about talking about time management. It is like my place. So I'm hoping today helps you guys have some nuggets that can really help you in your lives, and not even just in your business of coaching, but also in just your lives, and feeling more present and more focused and being able to have that time freedom with your family, and not that your time opens up. Listen, my life is crazier than what it was last year, what it was the year before that, and it just gets crazier as you get along. But I feel way more present than what I've ever felt in my life because of doing these things. So first thing I want you to do is really think, open up your chat bar if you haven't yet, because we're going to use it today. So catching my breath. What are you coaching for? If you guys were on Tasha's call last week, you've already kind of worked on some of these things, but these things are really important with how you do your time management and your time blocking. So why are you coaching? Why are you here on this call tonight? Type it in the chat bar for me. It's okay if no one wants to type in the chat bar. I'll just wait here all day. Just kidding. Freedom. Yes, Allie. Keep them loading in there. Contribute to more money for my family. Time freedom. Yes. Okay. So what do you have to lose if you don't actually go all in your business? Type that in the chat bar. More patience. Financial independence, for answering the last question. Type in the box what you have to lose if you go all in, and what do you have to gain if you go all in. If you drop your excuses, if you drop your fears, if you drop all those things that are holding you back, what do you have to gain? Flexibility, time with my family, more time for myself, being debt-free. Like, how epic, right? Who is counting on you? Guys, this is one of the most important questions and can really help you dig into your why is who's counting on you? If you don't focus on your business and be successful, if you don't do it in power blocking and doing it in a way where you're not stuck on your phone, which defeats the purpose of you doing this business in the first place, because all of us here in some realm want time freedom. So if you don't do those things and you're not successful, who are you counting? Who's counting on you if you don't do those things? Who's counting on you if you fail? Let me see that in the chat. I see a lot of debt-free time with my family, getting over struggle of my story. Yes, Kara, so good. Next question. What does your creator, whoever that is, whether it be Mother Nature, God, Jesus, Buddha, I don't care. What does that person or whatever say about what you're doing with your life right now? This gift that we have that is coaching in front of us is our decision what we make with it. Whether we stay scared, whether we do scary things like team calls, whether we do things that continuously grow us as a person and share whatever we have out there to share. I was listening to a podcast today and keep throwing it in the chat, by the way, those questions. I was listening to a podcast and what he said is like, or actually it was my book. And what they said was, if you wanted to create a restaurant and you decided, you know what, I'm not going to do that because, you know, there's so many other restaurants out there, so they don't really need me to make another restaurant. But like, would you have then your favorite restaurant? Would Pure Kitchen in Ottawa exist if that person thought that same thought? Tash just shook her hands. Like, would your favorite place, there's 8,000 billion bazillion restaurants, but if that, your favorite place, your favorite restaurant to go to with your husband, your partner, whoever it may be, if that person thought, nah, there's a bunch of restaurants out there, they don't need my special recipe. If they thought that, where would you go? Where would your bellies be? But that's the same thing with your business. Each and every one of you on here has something different to offer this world, even outside of coaching. Coaching is our vessel. Beachbody is our vessel. Each and every one of you have something to offer this world, and the way that you say it can tweak how someone needs to hear it. So sometimes a team call from me might be different than a team call, the same team call from Lindsay or from Allie. It's just something that's said differently that makes it tweak for you. And if you don't take the time to grow yourself and do these things, someone out there who needs your message isn't going to get that. And that one person matters. Okay, so there was one other question I wanted to say, but that's okay. We're gonna go on from that. If you haven't thought of those questions, this is the reason why we're doing it. They bring us to our priority statement. That priority statement is our compass as to how we break down our time management and our time blocking. So if why we're coaching is to cover our supplements, how we're going to break down our time blocking is going to be different than someone who wants time freedom and pay off their debt and wants that now, not 10 years from now. Sorry. Why and who are you doing this for makes a difference as well. Because if you're doing it for your family, then obviously there's someone, like your family is someone that you don't want to take time away from in order to do this business. Or if you do that, it's going to make you feel guilty, which means you're not going to be pouring into your business the way that you need to, and your energy and your vibe will change when you're sending out invites because you're going to feel like you're not having that family time. So what's your priority? Why are you here? What are you doing it for? What is your goal? What is your goal for this month of July? And what is your goal for the end of the year? And then look forward more. But those two things right now are what we are going to work on and what I want you guys to focus on for the next little bit. And then obviously you need to have time where you focus on the larger, longer time. Okay, so just said that. What do you want to accomplish? I said that. Okay, time blocking. Melanie Mitro. She has amazing time blocking videos, and I'm not going to go through it. I was going to screen share and show you how to do time blocking on your Google Calendar, but her videos are amazing and they're like 15 minutes. So the other thing I was going to say is sometimes it's just faster for you guys to not wait for an answer and go Google it and research it yourself. So when I was researching for this call a long time ago, I found the videos myself and I figured out how to do this. And that's how I implemented this in my life. Being resourceful is like huge. So Melanie Mitro, put it onto YouTube. It's like time blocking or time management, one of those things. She's got like 3 videos. She literally goes through how she does her Google Calendars. So in Google Calendars, what you can do, just as an overview, is you can create tasks, you can create due dates. If you're someone who needs a check mark box, all of that you can do in your Google Calendar. So at the end of the day, even if you want to create things just so you can feel like you ticked the box, like went to the bathroom, like whatever you want to do so that you can tick a box that day, put it in your Google Calendar. But that, if you need that structure, it's in there. So what you would do in this Google Calendar is you would put all the things you have to do. So when you're time blocking, some people like to do, I'm a pen and paper chick. I love to do pen and paper. And that just is how I run my life. But if you're someone who needs technology, Google Calendar is where it's at. So you start with what you have to do. Go to appointments, go to your job, feed your kids, like whatever you have to do, that goes in there. And you can do it if you're someone who likes colors and like bright it up. Then you can do things in different colors. Second thing you want to do is the second most important thing is workouts and PD. That's the next thing that goes on your calendar as a time blocking. So figure out when in your day workout is going to happen for the week. And then when's your PD going to happen? What does it look like? Is it listening to podcasts on the way to work? Is it reading a book before bed? Like whatever that is, put that in there. And if you're someone who needs like complete details of what you need to do, literally write out the book, write out how many pages you're going to do, whatever works for you guys. Next thing is when you're going to update your stories and posts. If you really need that structure, put that in there. And then the next thing is find your power pockets. Where do you have openings? So outside of the things you have to do, outside of your workouts and your PD, outside of updating stories and posts, which is really the fun stuff, where are your power pockets to do inviting, follow-ups, add, and connect? Really, guys, that is the bones of your business. So at the end of the day, if you invite, if you follow up, if you add and you connect, you're doing your business. And if you do it consistently, it will grow. So put those things in power pockets during the day. For me personally, I like to wake up and I do my morning affirmations, if my baby allows, and I read my 1 page of my personal development book. And then if I have enough time, then I invite for my stories right away, because it's something that I just feel successful if I've already sent an invite. And I'm coming from a place already where I've worked on myself, where I feel connected, and when I haven't had the stress of the day already on me. Then what I do in my morning when my baby naps is I then will respond to messages, and I will like go into my like other things I need to do that like really need to get done if I haven't updated my stories or done stuff like that. And then afternoon, any other invites or messages that need to be done. And again, some invites, some follow-ups. At nighttime, it's focused power hour. The key thing to time blocking is setting a timer. We are squirrels. I don't care if you don't think you are, you're a squirrel. And if you go down the rabbit hole of one thing shifts you off, you could be doing such successful invites or like really focused on adding. And then all of a sudden you get this message being like, oh my God, did you see this outfit? I really like it. I want to go get it. You're like, oh, let me see that. And then you're like lost in that. And then you go over to Ari and you like try to like get the bikini or whatever it is. And then you're like, oh, let's see what Old Navy has. And like an hour later, you're like, I didn't do anything for that power hour. So I like 8-minute blocks. There's something about 8 minutes. It's not 5, so I feel like I haven't done anything. And it's not 10, so I don't feel like it's too long. And if it's 8, I feel like I can then add 2 minutes. And I'm like, okay, fine. So I do 8-minute power pockets. And I always start at nighttime, 1 time a day, guys, 1 time a day, unless it's really important for me. I check into my hub, which is my community that I run. 1 time a day has been hugely like impactful, because they feel like I'm not a slave to my business anymore. I used to check it anytime I got a notification that someone had posted or done anything. But as your community grows, that's exhausting. And that is, as much as we like to pour into our people, it's just, it doesn't give them the feeling that they could do the same thing. So we want them to recreate what we're doing. And if we're drowning, then that's not going to be something they're going to want to do either. So once a day, I go in and I have an 8-minute power pocket. It literally takes me 8 minutes, and I can go through everybody's posts for the entire day and share love on everybody's posts. I will go live in there in the morning after my workout where my vibes are high. But that takes like half a second to go live and share something from my personal development or something that's just spoken to me, or just say like a rah, we rock kind of thing. That's in the morning. That's different. But your power pocket where you're going in there and you're pouring love into your group, that's at nighttime for me, because that's when my power pocket, that's when my power hour is. What else was I going to say? Backing up, every Sunday, you guys want to look at your week ahead. If you're people with normal lives, if you're a shift working nurse, you want to do it either the night that you come off of nights, or if you work 2 days, 2 nights, 5 off, or you want to do it right before you go on nights. I find doing it when you come off of nights is the best, because then you can schedule out your food for the whole time and all the other stuff, and it's more exciting than having to go back to work and plan something out. So Sunday for people who work normal lives, shift working nurse when you come off of nights. Plan out that time and that power pocket as you go. Reflect, that is your day to reflect too. So your day to reflect what your goals are for the week, what's launching that week. Like, we have an incredible week ahead, guys, in this business. If you don't know what's going on, you need to know what's going on. So go drop into Beachbody Champions page, look on Fierce Factor, look on 180 United, look on the Hub, like whatever your team page is, the stuff is in there. All the stuff is in the back office, but you need to know how incredible this week is. And the next week after that with Summit coming, like so many goodness. Are you talking about it on your stories? Are you doing those things? They're super simple, guys, but if you don't talk about it, no one knows. So taking 5 seconds, love the 8-minute timer. Yes. So those things don't take long, but if you don't talk about them, this is what I learned about coaching. I wasn't talking about coaching and how passionate I was about it. And you know what happens? I didn't create a team for 2 years because I wasn't talking about it. So if you don't talk about it, no one's going to know. If you don't talk about a challenge that's about to start, no one's going to know. So it's super simple. But my one task to all of you guys is, as soon as this call is done, talk about the coaching call and the one nugget that you had from it on your stories, and feel free to tag me so I'll reshare it and shout you out, because we all do this as a community. But if you don't talk about it, you're not going to grow. So if you have goals for this business, you need to talk about it. So reflect upon where you want to go, your goals, and adjust your tasks accordingly. So if you have a goal of 10 by the 10th, 5 by the 5th, Success Club 5 by the 5th, and Success Club 10 by the 10th, if you're someone who rolls with that one, then reflect on where you are in your week. Are you at Success Club 0? That's totally fine. But what do you need to hunker down on in order to reach your goals? And then throw in the task chat box right now with everything that I've said. How are you thinking? Like, do you have the thought of, my life is still so busy, I don't think I could get all the things I need to do done? Does anyone still feel that way? Or do they see how the time blocking is working? Feel free to unmute yourself too if you want me to like expand on anything right now. I'll give you guys a second. P.S. This room is freezing and I'm like shivering. So if I'm like losing my voice, I'm frozen. The air conditioner thing is like the highest right there. It gets easier each day and easier now that the kids are out of school. Yeah. So again, as you go through different phases in your life, guys, your time blocking is going to change. The way that you organize things are going to change. So what I did when I was working full-time as a nurse is different than what I'm doing right now with 3 kids at home and homeschooling and summer schedule. So you need to obviously adjust, and you need to realize that it's going to take a little bit to adjust to that schedule. So just really bear with it for at least 2 weeks to see that it's going to work. And you will find where your power pockets work best. If, like I said, if you're someone who like really hates inviting and it scares them, Obviously, you need to pump yourself up and you need to watch some inviting videos. There's a bazillion on YouTube that are amazing that can really take the fear out of it. But do those things first. Make sure you're showing up on your stories and your posts so you have someone to do it to, right? If you're not doing these things, it makes it harder because then you're connecting with people that you haven't connected with forever. But if you're showing up in your stories and people are watching them, it's super simple to send that invite. So focus, squirrels, focus, stop scrolling, set the timer, and do the things. Like I have this thing, I'm gonna take it off my wall. You guys see it? It says, if you just keep doing the things, everything falls into place. It's legit my mantra. And when things get tough, or when you think that what you're doing is not working, you might need a shift. But if you keep doing the things, invite, connect, follow up, add, I promise you it'll all fall into place. It might need a tweak in what you're saying, or you going on stories or doing something scary a little bit more and pushing yourself outside your comfort zone. But if you keep doing those things, everything will fall into place. I'm just going to check the chat box for a second. Can you share how you time block with 2 kids and a baby? So what I do for them is I base it upon Reese's schedule. So I'll quickly go through my day. Today was a SHIT show, but so I basically morning affirmations, and then my IMs if I have time. I actually do it. I know them so well that I do it while I breastfeed Reese in the morning. And then I say my prayers at the same time. And then I just read that one page of my daily affirmation book, not affirmation, my daily focus book. And then my phone's away. I make sure that if I have more time, I then answer any really important messages. So anybody who's about to sign up, anybody who has an issue, or like a coach that needs help. And then I will quickly go through my stories and invite from there if I have time. And then my phone goes away, I do my workout, and then it's kid time. Like my phone's away unless it's something that's important. I feed the kids, I do all those kind of things. I have my breakfast. When Reese goes down for her morning nap, that is when I try to get a little bit of a power pocket in. So I set my kids up, I homeschool them in the summer. So I get them to do the easier tasks first. And so they don't technically need me. It might be a question here and there. And then I can do a few things, like I can answer some messages at that time. And then phone goes away again. And then lunchtime, I usually have a 8 to 10 minute power pocket. Like it really is utilizing your power pockets. And I will do one of the things that is most important depending upon where my goal is in that month. So I either will invite and follow up likely. I won't usually use that time to add or connect because I just can't be focused. And then phone goes away. Afternoon nap, I usually take about a 15 to 20 minute power pocket and have the kids do something else near me, the older two. And then I will do something else that needs focus on, again, those 4 things. And then once the kids go to bed, that is my focus time. And my baby does not sleep. So those power pockets are everything because I am up there at least 4 times before 10 o'clock usually at night. And then I'm up all night. So on and off all night long. Like sleep is not like sleep is for the weak. But like it's just, you just got to keep going and you just have to live in your passion and be so connected with your why, so that you can really just move your business forward. And your why is going to change. Like my why, I'm getting teary. My why when I started was to help one person. And my why now is so I can be home for my kids, because like shift working and my husband shift working and us through COVID, like it was the hardest thing we did, and the emotional chaos in this house during it. But during that time, we rank advanced me and my husband to 1-star diamond. So I'm telling you, through chaos, we literally had no main floor. We gutted our main floor of our house where I homeschooled my kids by myself. And I homeschool my kids. I was super pregnant. I was sick. I was on Declectin. So I was exhausted. And yet I worked full time. My husband worked full time. Like, it was the worst chaotic time of my life, but I grew as a human, and each and every one of you can grow so much as a human if you lean in and you learn from what you have gone through. And like, there's going to be something that happens today that you're going to be like, that was the shittiest thing that has ever happened. Like, today was a shit show, guys, in my house. My more children were like, more. And you know what? We had a conversation at the end of the day and we grew from it. And I can be a better mom tomorrow because of it. And they can be better humans tomorrow because of that too. It's just totally off topic, but just so you can learn about how things can change. When I had surgery many years ago, I don't know how many, and I was supposed to have my gallbladder removed, which I did. And I was supposed to have my abdominal wall repaired at the same time to fix my hernia. And they couldn't fix my hernia unless they repaired my abdominal wall. And I was like, sweet, you're going to tie my abs together because I have like diasterectomy from my other two. And I was like, this is freaking awesome because it's not covered, right, in under healthcare. So I was like, I don't want to pay that money, but this is freaking awesome. So get out of surgery. I think everything happened. And they tell me they couldn't find the hernia, even though I was like, I have pictures of it popping out. How could you not find it? And so therefore, they couldn't do the repair because it wasn't justified, and I would have had to pay. And because I was under sleeping, whatever, of course I can't think of the word, they couldn't do it. So I was pissed. Not then, but like really, like I was excited for this moment. Flash forward to 3 years later, and I'm getting teary, but we didn't think we were going to have another baby. Like, it was something that was totally off the table and never would have happened without leading in on this journey as a coach. And what coaching does for you is it pushes you, and it pushes you to become a better human. This is totally off topic from time management, but you're going to listen. If you lean in on coaching, guys, it's going to push you to do things, and your coach is going to push you to do things. But I promise you, those things will grow you as a human. And those things that grow you as a human will get you to the life that you always wanted. And I have 3 kids now, and I only had 2. And that's great. 2 is amazing, and I'm so grateful. But I didn't think I was capable of having a 3rd because of the postpartum depression and anxiety and how it destroyed me. And my relationship with my husband at the time. Like, we were like, we can't have another kid. It'll destroy us and we'll get divorced. And if we get divorced, then what's the point of having another kid? And this grew me as a human so much that I knew I was capable of having another kid. Did I doubt myself? Yes, a bazillion times. Did I think I was bloody nuts to have another baby? Yes. Did people tell me I was nuts? Yes. But was it the best freaking thing ever? If you guys see Reese, like, she's the cutest freaking baby ever. She's my favorite baby. But like, it's, oh God, this can be on YouTube. Oh, well, no one tell my kids, okay, I'm joking. It'll change over time. But what I'm telling you is I 100% know that if I never took the leap of faith and started coaching, which was coaching so I could lose weight, guys. I selfishly started coaching because I wanted to lose weight, and then I felt actually better about myself, and then I wanted to help someone else. That is why I started. But I would never have been able to grow a family that I always wanted. I always wanted a bigger family. And I never would have been able to do that had it not been for this journey. So where this tangent's going is lean the fuck in. Okay, guys? This business can be done in crazy, bloody life. It can be done. I don't care what your excuse is. I don't care how crazy your life is. I don't care what things are leaning on you. They can be pushed off if you do this, if you lean in. 8 minutes, guys. 8-minute power pockets. You have 8 minutes. You shit for 8 minutes. Okay? Like, you have 8 minutes. Thank you all for laughing. I appreciate things. But seriously, the time that you're sitting on the toilet and watching reels, you can invite at least one human to change their lives, right? So at least be productive while you're shitting. Okay, I said shit a lot on this call. I'm sorry. Did I have anything else to say? I feel like I did. I'm sorry. I went on a huge tangent. Okay, I'm almost done. Let's just review. Set timers, only do what's scheduled. I've already kind of said that, but seriously, if you're doing an 8-minute power pocket, when that message about the awesome bikini shows up, you don't look at it. It can wait 8 minutes, even if it's your bestie, she can wait 8 minutes. She can wait 8 minutes. Okay. So that 8 minutes is focus. You're only doing what's in that 8 minutes. And you set legit, the 8 minutes are set up according to what you need to accomplish and according to what your goals are. If you want to grow your business and you want to have impact in this world, inviting has to be done every single day. And personally, I know people who like to do bulks. And if that works for you, that works for you. But personally, I like to go to my stories, I like to go to my posts, and I like to invite and thank people from there. It works for me. It makes me feel good. I'm someone who needs to come from like a thankful place. And I'm super awkward and it can come out awkward. So that way I don't tend to be as awkward. If you're, if you're not on a scheduled time, like right now, my phone is face down, guys. It never sits up. If you're with your family, it's not sitting up. Okay. It's super simple, but I promise you it changes your life. This way for your phone when you're with your family or your partner or your dog and you want to have dog time, like whatever floats your boat, it's this way. Okay. Because what happens is our brain immediately goes to that. And then when you see that message, even if it's like something that doesn't matter, you're like, oh, I should respond. Oh, I want to see what they're talking about. And then you're out of time with your family. What else? Stop overthinking your posts. That's a lot of people's problems that I've heard personally, is that you're spending so much, I see hands up, Eva, you're spending so much time thinking about it. It just, honestly, okay, I'm going to talk about shitting again. My favorite place to write posts is the bathroom. I'm still bombarded by my kids. I have this reel that I'm having a hard time posting, but it's like, I just want to shit by myself. And I scroll to all my kids. I have the video. I just can't post it yet. But there's something about the bathroom that just makes me feel home. But those of you who travel at Summit know it's where I find my magic. It's where I have a second to think by myself. Thank you all for laughing in the chat. I love it. So find your place. The other place for me is outside. So if I'm in the forest or if I'm somewhere else. And then one of the things is super important, voice to text. So those of you who are better talking to people personally, and just, you have a thought, but you can't get it down in words, put it voice to text. It's changed my life. And it'll probably come up with some jargon, but you can make sense of the jargon and then you can quickly make the post about it. 2 other things I do, I see Eva shaking her head a lot. 2 other things I do is I have a whole note section of copy and pasted from my memories, thank God. It's like my notebook. Anybody seen the movie Notebook? Like that's what my Facebook is for me. My husband jokes, I don't have to make you that book. Like you can just go to your memories. But there's usually something, if you've been coaching for a little bit of time, there's usually a post that might speak to you a certain day, right? That post might not make sense that day, but it might 2 days from now. So I copy and paste what it is. If the picture is like great, then I'll save the picture to my phone. What I usually do is I take one of those posts and I'll put it back up. I'll change the wording to make sense to where my life is now or something that I might want to tweak. And then I change my picture. That saves me at least 1 post a day. I post 3 times a day, sometimes twice, but that's what works for me in my business. Over on Facebook, on Instagram, it's 1 to 2 a day. That's what works for me. Yes, love memories. They're amazing. The other thing that I do is personal development. So when I'm doing my personal development, any nuggets I have, I voice to text them to myself, and then that becomes a post. Even if it's a short one, and then I obviously can expand on it, but it gets my brain thinking about like, oh yeah, that was so smart. So then it can kind of spur on my brain thoughts, and then I pour it out into a text of some sort, and then I find my photos. Obviously, if you're showing up in your stories, you have a bunch of photos. That's why stories are epic, because it forces you to take 8,000 photos and put them up there. But then that's something that you can use for your posts. Last thing, sit down with your family and tell them why you're doing this, because then they're in on it. Then they know why you're doing this. And it's got to be like Tash says, it's got to be so good that you cry. because they need to know how passionate you are about this and why it makes a difference. My kids know that I've affected and changed lives for the positive. They know why I'm doing it is because mommy wants to come home to them, not full time, but that mommy wants to come home to them so that the craziness of like coming off of night shifts and the crotchety that happens and having one parent who's more stable in those moments and just being able to be that person, regardless if they like dad still more than me. I need to be that person. And it's been quite evident that that needs to happen. So telling them those reasons, but then on top of that, especially with your partner, because that was something I didn't do for the first 2-3 years of my business. And really the game changer for us becoming One Star was me actually having these conversations with my husband. I never look at income, like it's just not my jam. But that's what men think about. They want the numbers. So they want to know, if I get to this point, this is going to be the change. Or this is what I'm incoming right now, and this is what I'd like to income, but this is what I need from you in order to do that. And for those of you with young babies on here, it's really important to do that. It's really important to have that conversation, regardless of if you have young babies, but I'm telling you just from where I'm at, it's really important for you because you don't have that time. Your boobs are always needed if you are breastfeeding. And therefore, you are more loved from your little baby than the other hoodlums, but they need you. And you know how to do it faster. So you want to go and you feel like you have to go. And if you can communicate that I have team call this night, I have this engagement event this night, are you able to take care? Ryan just came home from day shifts. And I said, I got this important call. I need to be on it. And like, I need you to deal with the screaming baby. My monitor's off because this is usually my work hour. But in my work hour, I still run up and down. So you need to have those conversations with them and figure out what you need for your business and where you're going, and tell them where you're going and what you need from him to get there. What else? Incorporating them, this is the last thing, incorporating them into a goal. So if mommy helps 3 people this month, let's go out for ice cream. Or what would make you excited? I know some of the like bigger coaches have said like, okay, if mommy hits this goal, then we're going to go to Disneyland. Disneyland's great, but it's not my jam. Like I want to go to the beach. I want to go to the forest. I want to go to BC. I want to go something like that. But setting a goal that gets them excited. So they're like, when you can all celebrate together that life that you impacted, that makes a difference for them. And then they feel part of it because they have huge impact on how you do in your business. So incorporating them in the goal is huge. I get my baby down on Monday and Wednesday. So that's awesome, Eva. That's huge. Okay, that is it for me. Does anybody have questions? Like unmute yourself, ask away, and an open book, as you can tell.
Do you plan out your posts on the weekend or do you do it daily?
I do it daily. I'm someone who has to like live in the moment. So I have tried in the past, like prepping them. It doesn't work for me. So what I do though, is I put them in the notes section. So I have like probably 40 posts that I could do in my notes section. So instead of prepping, I have stuff kind of there. If I have a day where like it's terrible and my brain can't think, I can go there and get inspired and post something. So it's kind of a little different. Like it's not scheduled, but it's there.
Yeah, I do the same thing.
Yeah. On a side note, pre-planning, if you guys don't do this, I think most of us do, but just to say it, pre-planning your entire month for your challenge groups is needed. Like that happens. The one thing that I did with my team is I break it up, and because I run the hub with some coaches, and we break it up and we each take different days. But by having them done before the month is, I don't have to worry about that for the rest of the month. I just have to worry about pouring into my crew, which is the best part. So it probably takes me half an hour to an hour. So I would use that as like my power hour that day, to do everything for the month ahead. And then that's done. And that's something that I tell my new coaches so that they can then have the time to actually do the things to grow their business versus the fun things. Anybody else have questions?
Can I add something just coming from a perspective of like full-time working coach?
Yeah.
Even if you have more time, maybe you don't have kids, I still highly recommend planning out a schedule, because if you're, and most people are like this, you could have 5 hours and you're at home and the house needs to be clean and it takes 5 hours. Somebody calls you and says, I'm coming over in 20 minutes, and you get the same amount of work done in 20 minutes and you fly around and get it done. Like, that is so me. When I worked at a corporate job, I'd come home at lunch and it was like, how much can I get done in my lunch hour? And I would get like all this stuff done. But if I was home all day, it would take me the whole day to get it done. And it's the same thing with working this business. I get way more done when I sit down, I write out my list of things I need to get done, and I commit so much time, or else it will take me all day. And there's no need for it to take you all day to do this stuff, because then we get caught up in the fancy things of like, let's make this reel extra special and let's like do all this extra stuff, and we're ignoring the things that actually grow our business, like inviting and posting and connecting with new people. So I would just definitely say do those things first. The fluffy stuff and making pretty graphics and things like that, that can come after, but like keep it basic and get what you need done first. Because Christy asked a question about like, I'm mentally drained sometimes, and I get that. That's why when I post, I have to do my posts in the morning. And I was saying in the comments, after my workouts is when I'm inspired and I feel good and my words just come better. At the end of the day, if you're drained and you can't even think thoughts, don't save your post for the end of the day. You can post it at the end of the day, but create it in the morning or whenever you want to post. But do the things that need your mental brain, do those things first in the morning. Like you're connecting over coffee and like connect with people, like do those things first and get them out of the way. And then later is when you can do your check-ins and things like that don't require so much like energy. And one last thing is there is a number of coaches who have said it, I've talked to them, and they said a lot of people think, oh, she's a full-time coach, she has all day, no wonder she's successful. That is not true. It is not how much time you have, it's what you do with your time. Because many of those coaches said, I grew my business so much quicker when I worked a full-time job than I did when I quit that job and now I'm home full-time. Because of that time thing, when you're focused and you're like, I have 2 hours, I'm going to get this done. You are so uber focused that you just check the box. You don't even have time to think or question. But when you're home full-time doing it, sometimes it does become more of a struggle, like to stay on task. So just know that even though you're working full-time, you can grow a killer business, because that's how everyone does it usually, is with another job first. And then maybe you'll go part-time later. But yeah, don't use the time thing as an excuse, because sometimes shorter time is more of a benefit because you're like super duper focused. That's all. Sorry, I cut in on you.
No, it was so good. I totally agree. I remember, so when the kids the hoodlums went to school before I had Reese, and school in person was actually a thing. I remember I was like so excited because I thought like my business would like explode and it'd be great. And it was actually like the worst time in my business. I actually did the worst. Because I wasn't focused and I was doing things, like I was doing the things. I was working my business for probably 3 to 4 hours a day. And I remember going to Lindsay, like, I'm doing the things. I don't understand, but I wasn't really doing the things. I was going here, there, and everywhere. And I wasn't doing it with passion. And I was doing it in ways that were like really just drag you on. I was having conversations before I invited that lasted like months, guys. And I just wasn't tying things together, and just like it, trust me, what Ali said is like 100%. And that's why those timers are like key. So there's 2 questions that popped up. Do I have a number of invites I aim for? It depends. So I have done months where I did 30 a day, and it actually was great, but it exhausted me. There will be a number that you will find in your business, depending on your goals, obviously, that works for you, that gets you inspired, that keeps you going. I usually try to do 5 a day, but I'm not a stickler for them. I do say though, for myself, I go from my stories and my posts. That's generally how I invite, and it comes from a thank you. So thank you so much for popping into my stories. I like uber appreciate it. I don't know if you saw, but I'm running another wellness challenge. I'm just about to start it. we're going to be focused on mental health, personal development, moving our bodies, and nutrition. Does that sound like something that would be of value to you right now? If it is, I'd love to offer you a spot because you're so sweet to pop into my stories. Like, that's what I said. It's in my notes section. I kind of tailor it a little bit to the person. And it also helps, guys, to have certain things that you do every single day that you put on there. I remember Angie Bellamar talking about this, and I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. But my personal development book that I post my screenshot of every single day of my thing. Do you know how many people have asked me about that book? So many people, because they trust me, because I show up every single day. And then they trust me because they see that book every day and they're like, that's been really great. And it's not just my workouts. They know my workouts are going to happen every day. And cards, yeah, the affirmation cards. And then you can talk to them about it. And then you can say, I actually got hooked on this book because my bestie Tash and Aaron, and they got it for me. And like it, I don't know if you know, but I'm about to start a wellness challenge, and there's your hook, line, and sinker. There you go. And it's a conversation opener. The thing that you need is a conversation opener, and that comes from your stories and your posts. When that becomes dry though, and I don't have those 5 people a day because I'm not having new views, then I have to shift things up. I have to realize, okay, I'm not connecting enough. I'm not adding enough. And then I shift my power pockets accordingly. There was another question on here. Do you schedule each month for your posts, like week about nutrition? So are you talking about in a challenge group? Who is this? It's from an iPad. That's not helpful. If they're talking about a challenge group, yeah. So I do everything the month before. A bunch of us have gone in. We buy Mamapreneurs, I forget what it's called. And they basically have created all the stuff for us. And it saves me a ton of time. I used to do all of my challenge group planning myself. I used to do daily posts with like motivational stuff from like Tony Robbins, and then I do some big write-up of it every single day, but I still planned it beforehand. Nutrition, I do like a check-in, and then I do like daily check-ins for nutrition, and I'll have some posts throughout the month about that too. It's all in there, but it's all done the month before, like probably the last week of the month. Anybody else have questions? If not, I think, unless Ali has something else, I think that's good.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I hope someone had a nugget in there. Remember, guys, if you're not talking about it, it's not going to change your business. If you're not showing up on your stories, in your power pocket, it's not going to change your business and have people to invite. So you're welcome. So after the post, after the whatever this is called, Zoom call, hop on your stories and say one nugget that you had from it. Tag me or Ali or Lindsay or whoever your coach is on here, and we can reshare it. But if you're not talking about your business and your like what this has impacted you, your business isn't going to grow. 100%.
Bingo.
Bingo. All right.
All right. Thanks, Lauren.
You're welcome.